Hello, family members. Hope you're having a much better day than I am. Yeah, I'm still trying to get my meds sorted, so I'm a little out of it. This is actually like the third time that I've tried to record this because I'm a hot mess express today. So I hope that you'll hear me out because I have a lot to say about our brand new abortion ban down here in Florida and how the idea that there's exceptions for the life of the mother is just absurd. That doesn't in practical application doesn't exist because the problem is a doctor may make a decision in the moment based on all of the information that's available to them, but a court could come back and say that they were wrong after the fact. And so, how could a doctor ever do a procedure that could cause them to completely mess up their future? You know, if there's even the remote chance that it could happen, how could you ask somebody to risk their career, their livelihood, their family, and their family security over something that they don't know might, could cause them trouble for the rest of their lives? I just don't think that there's going to be a lot of doctors that are going to be willing to stay here in Florida, practice here in Florida, and if they come across a case where a woman's life is questionably in danger and an abortion is necessary, but it's not, necessarily 100% obvious, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take that risk. You know, anyone compassionate enough to be like, I can't not do that procedure if it's necessary, they're going to leave this state, you know? And so then we're not going to have anybody who will ever take any sort of exceptions. You know, they say, oh, well, in the case of rape or incest, well, how do you prove that it's incest until you have, I mean, you may not be able to prove that it's rape or incest while the baby is still gestating. You know what I mean? Like, you might be able to say, okay, it's statutory rape. That may be, but I don't know. It just seems to me that anyone who talks about there being exceptions in abortion bans just don't understand how the medical system works in this country, you know? I mean, doctors are constrained from doing procedures that they believe are medically necessary all the time. Insurance companies just don't approve it, or, uh, you know, a patient can't afford it and there's no way for them to get financing, or some, activist legislature makes these weird laws as they want to do, like these damn abortion bans, even though they don't have a medical background. They don't understand the procedures that they regulate, just like they don't understand the schools that they legislate. I mean, it's just it's a practical impossibility to imagine a system where you could have an abortion ban that has any sort of exceptions to it. You know, it's just not going to happen. And the result of that is women are going to die. I mean, we have embarrassingly high maternal mortality rate. I don't know why I can't say that today. In this country, it's embarrassing. It is absolutely humiliatingly embarrassing that we as a nation have so many people die during pregnancy. It's not cool. It's not acceptable. If I don't know why we aren't burning the country to the ground over that alone. Here we are. We're supposedly a nation that protects women and children, and yet we don't. We just don't, you know? And I don't understand why you can sit down and talk with a person who is anti reproductive health and they say, you know, I know what you want is there to be less abortions, but the statistics prove banning abortion doesn't make there be less abortions. It just means that there's going to be less safe abortions and there's going to be more abortions overall. It bears out the data all over the country, all over the globe. When people enact abortion bans, abortion rates go up, not down. So if you want less abortions, even though it's counterintuitive, abortion bans are not the way to do it. But the thing is, they don't want the actual solutions to abortion bans either. They don't want more access to birth control. They don't want better sex education for kids. You know, they want kids to be in the dark, not know anything, be sweet little innocent flowers until the day that they're married, and then pop out a million babies with their spouse and never have any sort of like sex life beyond what is necessary for procreation. And that is just not feasible. It is for some people that satisfies their sexual and romantic needs just fine. But not everybody is going to be served by that. It's just not going to happen. And they would rather try to legislate the world they want into existence than try to figure out how to make things better in the reality that we have. And it just absolutely infuriates me to think about the fact that if a woman gets pregnant here in this state at this time, the safest thing to do is to leave. And if a woman could potentially get pregnant, the safest thing to do is to leave. Because even if she's raped, is there any guarantee that anyone will believe her? That she won't be forced to go through a pregnancy? So, if you're a woman in Florida right now, here's the thing. You are risking that if you were to get raped and you were in the most horrible, vulnerable point of your life, trying to go through this horrible situation, raped and you've come pregnant, and so then you've got to try to deal with the legal ramifications of the rape, potentially, as well as the emotional ramifications, which, you know, that may end up causing you to have trouble in your job or, you know, mean that you have extra expenses. So it's probably going to put some financial stress on you. So you're already emotionally stressed, financially stressed, dealing with a very stressful, law enforcement situation. And then on top of that, in order to get the health care that you need, you may have to go all the way to Virginia or somewhere else and pay to get there. And I heard some dumb Republican politician say, oh, it's the price of a bus ticket. No, it's not. No, it's not. You don't, like, just fly in, get an abortion and then go right back. You know, like, that's not how that works. You know, you may have to actually, be there for a little while. So that's probably going to be like a hotel bill that you have to add to all the financial stress. And of course, while you're there, you have to, eat food, and it's a lot more expensive to eat out than eat at home. So the expenses are piling up, the stress is piling up. And what they're hoping is that people just won't have the abortion. But what'll happen is they will either go through all of that to have it legally, or they'll find some way to make it happen some other way and potentially die in the process. There's just, We talk about things so confidently that we don't understand. And I don't mean like just Americans, I mean just like human beings in general. Human beings have a tendency to misunderstand how much we know about a topic. And there's so many people who talk so confidently about sexual health and reproductive rights, and they really don't know what the heck they're talking about, you know? For example, easy example, Ben Shapiro guy apparently had a problem after Megan Thee Stallion's WAP came out, and was like, that's got to be a medical condition. And it's like, well, clearly you don't understand women's sexual anatomy and what is potentially normal for a woman versus what's not normal for a woman, because, you know, women are different. You know, even a woman who is very sexually satisfied by her husband may not get, quote unquote, wet that much. You know, some people don't, for physiological reasons, secrete as much as others. And that's why it's like not a bad thing for kids to know that, and that it's generally a good idea to use lubrication in situations like that, you know? But how many people don't know that? Because it's, well, also the other thing, and I heard someone else say this, and I definitely agree with it. Having sex ed gendered, segregated by gender is also a problem, because women need to know men's anatomy and men need to know women's anatomy. And the fact that we don't understand that is so weird to me, because it's like when you grow up and you have children, you don't know what gender they're going to be. They may not be the same gender as you. And so you may have to educate a child on anatomy that you've never even gotten any education on yourself. Take care of or educate a child. I mean, it's just like, it's so short-sighted. It's so frustrating that we cannot see that putting medical decisions in anybody other than the doctor and the patient's hands is immoral. You know, we don't know the situation in any case. The doctor and the patient know the best out of anybody in the world. And why anyone else's judgment is called for in moments like that, I'll never know. You know? Because the thing is, doctors, they take an oath to do no harm. They're motivated to help people. They also have a heck of a lot of malpractice insurance, so they're not going to want to do anything wrong. They're very motivated on all levels to do things ethically and by the book and in the best interest of the patient. And yet, for all their education, all their training, all their checks and balances to ensure that they give good care to patients, these idiot lawmakers want to come in and tell doctors what to do. They want to practice medicine without a license. And because they're politicians, they get away with that. So that's annoying. Anyway, that's what I have for you today, family members. I hope you have a lovely day, and hopefully I'll be a little more with it when I talk to you next. Bye.